and welcome to Apple Tree Cottage here in the Scottish Borders. Today is August the 5th, 2025, and this is episode number 34. It's lovely to see you again. I've had a couple of weeks where I have had family staying, so there has been a bit of a gap in my episodes as far as the weeks have gone by, and I think I've missed a week or two managing to come to you and give you a catch up on my progress and what I've been doing. But it's been absolutely lovely to have family, and they certainly have enjoyed their holiday. So what have I managed to do? Well, in fact, having thought that there would be very little to show you, I have rather a few items to share with you. So I hope you'll stay with me and find out what has been happening. So it's easier in a way just to do some knitting when people have been staying. And as you know, I've been doing a jumper for the coming winter, for the winter months, in lace knitting. I have had the Japanese knitting stitch Bible for a number of years and have really enjoyed simply looking through the patterns. It's a beautifully produced book, and it's just a joy to be flicking through the patterns and just admiring them. However, I finally got around to settling down to choosing one, and I chose out of this book pattern number 166, which I will show you here, which is this purplish one, this lilac coloured one here. I do find the charts pretty difficult to follow. It's in a book. They're quite small, and so what I have done is to devise my own translation of the patterns row by row. The different colours are the different stitches. In fact, there are only 9. There are only 9 stitches, and that includes yarn over. So it looks incredibly complicated, but once you get down to it, there are only 9 different stitches to produce an absolutely beautiful pattern. So I've been putting them on card. I can see the colours very quickly and easily with my own translation method, and therefore I actually end up enjoying doing the knitting as opposed to becoming frustrated by trying to follow a chart that's really quite small and complicated. So first of all, going out with the family to one of the local market towns here in the Scottish Borders, I had to buy another basket. As people who know me will have discovered, I absolutely love baskets and I can't stop collecting them. I've already bought 3 new ones this summer, including this one. So this is a dinky little basket that I found in a beautiful hardware store, a very old-fashioned one. It was a joy to find all the baskets and brushes and things outside on the pavement, and this one sitting just begging for me to purchase it. And I've popped some of my selection of very fine wools in here. That will be sock wools, and they're so gorgeous I never get around to actually making the socks. So I would probably be replacing the wool before I started to make the socks, so that I just keep my lovely collection of very soft silks and wools mixes for socks. I'll get round to it. Anyway, there's my new basket for my collection. And as you will know, this was the basket that I found earlier in, I think it was some early July. And I absolutely love this basket. And of course it's calling out for the back and the front of the jumper. And then I also have this little basket here, and this is one that I obtained, I think, in July. So these are my 3 baskets for the summer and purchases. This is made of elephant grass, and it is beautifully malleable, and it's actually made in Kenya. So there we are. The other 2 obviously are wicker. This is my this is my knitting notebook. It's a moleskin. I could not live without it. I'll show you in a minute the page that I've devoted to this sweater that I'm making with lace, and with any knitting I'm doing. I really do need to just note down where I am. Otherwise I get completely lost, and of course that's really important with lace. You do have to keep track of your rows, and this is the way I do. Again, if you know me at all, you know I absolutely love books, notebooks, and recording my progress. So this is for my knitting, and I do keep a pencil in here, and that is these are the notes for what I'm calling walnut wings pullover. I like to give my knitted garments rather dotty names. I found that with anything I'm knitting, whether it be gloves, mittens, socks, that it's much better to knit every part as I go. So this is the back, and the actual pattern is repeated 5 times across, and of course it will all be blocked so that it will look slightly different to this. It's quite difficult to see the pattern in that. And this is the front. This is my progress on the front. So I started the back, and I'm catching up with the front. I'll probably go on with the front and get to the place where the back is, so that we're more or less even Stevens as we go up the garment. And then in my little elephant grass basket, I have the 2 sleeves that are being knitted concurrently, and that means that I end with them together. If I make a mistake for some reason that I'm not realizing on one, it'll still be the same mistake on the other. For the needles on the main garment, I'm using Rowan 450mm for the back front and the sleeves. I love the wooden. I do like the Rowan, but I did have a 450mm in the Zing Knit Pro Zing needles, so I am just using them for one of the sleeves. And there we go. And the actual yarn I'm using is, again, it's Rowan, and it is called Mode at Rowan alpaca wool. Everyday luxury. Everyday luxury. It's certainly very luxurious to be knitting it, and I will tell you the mix. The mix is 50% alpaca and 50% wool, and I think it could be made in Peru. Well, the alpaca is certainly Peruvian. I'm not quite sure where the wool is coming from, and it's a nice mix. I find pure alpaca isn't quite as warm as my Jameson and Smith Shetland wool, and we do need to have pretty warm garments in the winter here. I do, because I have a stone cottage. It's it gets quite chilly in the winter, so this is another reason I'm knitting, in order to keep cozy warm. Though I love wearing my knitted garments in lighter yarns through the summer. So the basket was the result of going out with the family, and my daughter loves to shop, and so I was in a really nice shop that we've had here, I think since I can remember, and that's called W.H. Smith. It's still surviving, which is in these days pretty miraculous, and it's a lovely chain of shops that is mainly stationery, books, and as I say, it's survived over many decades, and long may it continue. They also have greetings cards, and I picked up this absolutely beautiful Ling design, Still Life of Pink Roses in a Glass Vase by Frans Mottelmans. And Frans Mottelmans, that's Mortelmans, it's Mortelmans, and he was Belgian, and I hadn't come across him at all, and I just think his work is stunning and very inspiring. So you'll see in a minute what that card inspired me to do. Anyway, I picked up that greetings card, and as you know, I do have some greetings card for sale on my Etsy shop, Fireside and Fairytale. So there we are with our basket, and of course we have to have our little Swiss chocolates in here, sneaking away chocolate. It's disgraceful, isn't it, in my wool basket. So that's my progress on my pullover, walnut wings. The colour, it's called walnut because the colour of the wool is walnut. So that's my knitting. Now, I also, however, have a number of items to show you in my sampler stitching. Not in any particular order. Yes, so as I say, my family visited me, and this was my daughter, my younger daughter, who moved to France, and her husband and twin sons, my grandsons, and I was delighted. She's the one who's the absolutely brilliant stitcher and sewer, and she's incredible. She's so amazing. I don't even try and compete, which is very good. And even while she was here, she produced something absolutely gorgeous in a very short space of time. So I don't compete with her because there's no comparison. But that doesn't stop me enjoying my stitching. And so she is the person who has the family sampler in France. And if you've been following my episodes, you know that she was given the family sampler. It's out in France. I used to go out to France, but I don't do that now. I have a cat here, and they come to me. But I wanted to do a copy, not a reproduction, but a copy of the family sampler. And so I've been working off photographs that she very kindly sent to me of the family sampler. It's Georgian. It was stitched by probably a niece of my great aunt. We think that's who it would have been. We've got the name, but I haven't quite got the connection. It wouldn't have been her daughter, wouldn't have been, because the dates don't match, but it was potentially maybe a niece of hers, not a sister of hers, or it could have been a younger sister of her. Anyway, we're still trying to find that out. But here is the sampler. I'm doing it silk on linen, and I haven't actually stitched any more since I last showed it to you, but I was thrilled because I showed it to my daughter and she said, oh yes, that is so like the actual original. That is just very, very, very good. So this was really confirming. We've been talking about the stitches, and I have done a chain stitch for the stem, and she feels that probably is not right. As I say, I'm working on photographs, so I will be getting back to her. It probably was stem stitch that was used, but the rest are cross stitch and satin stitch. And we have decided that the colours I'm using, she thinks that probably the red would have been much brighter. My choices are going for rather dull pink. It's Gloriana silk, and this one is wild berry, and other quite soft, gentle pinks. Let's see if I've got, this is the work bag I made with the pocket in front to hold the silks. So I have dried pink roses, wild berry, and quite soft, gentle colours. But as I work down the sampler, there is a border of roses around one of the oblongs with the initials, and also there is a verse. And I may well use a much brighter red for those. And we think that probably the colours would have been very bright originally, but we're both happy that I'm going with a rather softer copy. It is a copy, as I say. So that's my family sampler. It was Georgian. It was finished in 1834. And now my next one, there's quite a story over it. Anne Grant, the sampler is produced as a model by Teresa Vinette, kitten stitcher, Shakespeare's peddler. She has the three names. Teresa Vinette is actually her name. And I have been working on this for quite a while, certainly this year, not before this year. And again, I made a bag for it, and I'm using a mix of silks, some of which she has, I think most of which she has suggested. So I'm using the suggested silks here, but they are a mix. There's MPI and Gloriana and the Thread Gatherer. So there's Gloriana Schoolhouse Red, for example, is what actually goes round the first border. Very bright red, a lovely, lovely red. And I had been working on this according to the instructions. And do I have it? Yes, I do. And unfortunately, first I'll show you the picture. There's her model, and that's her original. Anne Grant, 1829, and it's an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous sampler. However, I had been working on the directions and the chart, and I was absolutely loving it. And this is really as far as I had worked. And for some reason or other, I hadn't worked round the border completely. So you live and learn. And it had got to maybe about the end of April, and I've thought, I don't know that I actually have enough fabric here. And so I measured it. You know, I had already stitched that, and I'd counted along, I think it's 6.5 blocks, and I'd measured from the block, and I thought, no, I do have enough fabric. So then I was continuing, and I did get to the, or not to the end of, because there isn't room. I'd got pretty far along the basic border here when I realised there's not enough fabric. And the key is the word approximately. On the directions, the dimensions for the fabric are given with the word approximately. And the lesson is really make sure that you have enough fabric before you put in many hours and a great deal of work into a sampler, and certainly probably go around the entire border, at least the skeleton of the border, before you do anything else. So I have now, because I love it, I mean it's beautiful, so I bought summer khaki, and off we go again. Will I have enough fabric? Well, if I don't have enough fabric this time, then it's definitely jinxed. There's no way about it. So, and this is the amount that I've done. That's my start on it. It's summer khaki, but it's actually, I don't know if you can see, but I then put it through, I boiled spinach, leaf spinach, and I put this through the spinach water to add a bit of green, and then I took watercolour paint and painted just a little bit over the parts of the fabric that I wanted to have a slightly more definite mottled effect, which they're very slight, so, and it's creased, so you may not see it, but there's a little bit there. So off we go again. And always look when people say approximately. And so there we are, and I will thoroughly enjoy it, and it's a lesson in patience, isn't it? So on we go again. Now the next one, I'm going to show you another bag. In fact, I'm going to show you this one next, because the next two sort of go along. Merrily, Merrily. I struggle with this one. I'm still struggling with this one. My daughter said, "Oh, Mummy, please just put it aside. If you're not enjoying it, just put it to the side." Now, I was brought up in very strict girls' schools that, and I think really my family as well. If you started something, then you were going to go and finish it. So I'm still going on with this. And Merrily, Merrily, Blackbird Designs. I am using Oaken, 36 count Oaken by Picture This Plus, and the threads that they have recommended, the recommended threads, and also some other threads of mine, because the actual dye lot of the Oaken is a good deal rosier and rather more marked than theirs, and so I have added a few more DMC actually colours to just bring them out rather more. The putty tends to just vanish in this, but you will notice a difference, and I was alternating it with Come Into My Garden by Blackbird Designs, but I've put that, I love that one. There's no way I'm not going to finish that, and so, but that has been put to the side for a few weeks while I have gone on religiously with this, and I finished the bottom border. Hooray, hooray. Finished the bottom border, and I've started another motif on this side of the bottom, and then I've done more of this motif here, and I have definitely done more of the I've put in some more leaves on the sides and done more of the alphabet. So, and it is lovely. So just maybe not my absolute favorite, and as I say, I find that it's difficult to see the pattern. So if I did do it again, I would do it, I will keep going on this fabric, but if I ever were to do it again, then it would be on a much lighter, maybe something like Winter Moon. I love Winter Moon, something like that, so that I could appreciate the design rather more clearly. So that's Merrily Merrily, and I hope you're giving me a clap of encouragement to keep going with this. Merrily Merrily. So that's that one. Now, I made yet another bag, and here are the and a little needle case to go with it, because I do like doing that. And the threads are DMC, I think completely. Is that right? Yes, they're all DMC threads in the pocket, and this is Dutch Beauty, and my daughter loved it. She thinks it's absolutely gorgeous, and many of you have done Dutch Beauty. So it's 1790, and it has so many little motifs in there. It's just an absolute joy, and the colours are soft and beautiful. So Dutch Beauty, and I'm just doing it on antique white, 40 count, and there's the little windmill at the top I have managed to do. So, and yes, I do have enough fabric. Again, there's absolutely vast amount of fabric here. So that's that one. And then I went to our local little, with my daughter, our local little charity outlet, which deals in books and in a great many sort of items. I would call them fabric and haberdashery, but there are other items, and many other different types of crafts. And I was thrilled because I discovered an absolutely beautiful sampler kit, antique sampler, and it is Herman of Copenhagen, Danish artwork, antique sampler, and that's the kit there that somebody hadn't even started. It has Adam and Eve, and it has this very crazy little snake crawling down the tree there. So that's great fun and beautiful. And I have started this. I'm calling it the Cellar sampler. And what else can I say about it? I haven't made a bag for it yet. I must do that. I have started to, I don't know what the threads are. They could well be DMC. As I say, it was a kit, and so I've been making my own little labels and fobs for them, and it says to start in the center of the chart. The fabric was also given in the kit, so I don't know what it is. It is linen, but I'm going to have to, I think it could well be 36 count actually. I'll have to measure it to see. But anyway, you start with the center, and that's actually a flower. And again, because it was provided, presumably it is the correct amount of fabric for that. So I was very, very pleased to find that, and I'm linking it with the Dutch Beauty because it's that from that area. The Cellar is from that area of Europe, so we're in the same sort of neck of the woods. While my family were here, we went on with our Jane Austen theme, which was reasonably unexpected. Firstly, my son-in-law decided to watched the films, the Jane Austen films, and absolutely enjoyed them. His favourite were Persuasion and also Mansfield Park, so that was really interesting. But the whole family, including my grandsons, watched the Pride and Prejudice film with starring Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. And the reason for that, they all thoroughly enjoyed it. But my grandsons are actually studying Pride and Prejudice, a slightly easier version they're using actually, because they're growing up in France and that's on the curriculum this coming year. So that was just really gratifying for me, since I seem to be hovering around Jane Austen through this summer. And I was thrilled to discover, oh yes, and also they not only watched the films, but my grandsons went off with the music which I had, and so we were getting the theme music, the themes from the film in the background being played on the piano, which is of course very sort of Jane Austen in lifestyle. So that was lovely. Now another Jane Austen book that I can recommend is Jane Austen's Town and Country Style by Susan Watkins, and this is a Thames and Hudson book, and it is just the world of Jane Austen spanning the end of the 18th century and the beginning of the 19th was a world of unsurpassed elegance, beauty and refinement. Well, I don't know, some people might not quite agree with that, but anyway, today it lives on not only in the imagination through the novels of this most loved of English writers, but concretely in the enduring popularity of its visual styles, from furniture and fabrics to interior design. And the actual chapters are, just to let you know, where are they? A Society of Grace and Manners, the Country House, Interior Styles, Fashion, and In Pursuit of Entertainment, and then an epilogue. And this was produced in 1990, this book, so it's quite a number of years old now, but it's a lovely book, many photographs in it as well. But I thought you would be particularly interested in this couple of pages here, and this is Jane Austen's sewing table, which is decorated in a chinoiserie style. And over here is a sampler that they think was stitched by her sister, her elder sister Cassandra. We have Jane's early 19th century chinoiserie work cabinet, decorated with black lacquer and gilt, is fitted with boxes for storing needles, thread, and sundry other items essential in the needlewoman. The work bag is underneath, and this is what happens. In my antique sewing table, the work bag is it's wooden. It is actually wood. It's not fabric, but often they were fabric, and it's a central portion there where you tuck your work and keep it nice, and then there would be all the silks. This sampler is reputed to have been by Cassandra as part of her early education. Both Cassandra and Jane attended school, girls' school, and I think boarded. They went to boarding school. I think Jane went off when she was 7 years old to school, so pretty young. It does say at the bottom Cassandra Elise Austen, so I can't see why it wouldn't be Cassandra's. It's a very formal one, that. So I thought you would like to see that, and Jane Austen's Town and Country Style. And now the other thing, going back to W.H. Smith and this little card of the painting by Frans Mortelmans, was what then inspired me, because I hope I'm inspiring you, but I certainly was inspired by other people's work. And so once the family had gone and all of the laundry and the tidying up had been accomplished, I got out my paints and my oil paints, and off I went again, because that's the other thing. It's arts and crafts that I'm really interested in, and music too. And so I picked this painting up that I had painted earlier in the year. It's oil on board, and this is Christmas roses, or we'd call it hibiscus, and the daffodil, narcissus daffodils, and my Royal Copenhagen vase. And so I just perked it up a little bit and added a few more leaves just to bring it a little bit more into focus. So I was doing that this week. And and then this painting here, I painted from scratch a couple of days ago. And is the light good enough for this? So I'm very fortunate, as you know, to have a beautiful garden, and that does actually take up quite a lot of time as well. I'm not really a gardener, but I have a garden, so I garden. And so these roses are from my garden, and this here is a Boscobel rose, and then these are the generous gardener roses here. So two different types of roses, and this is my red Mandalay mason jug. I absolutely love. And my daughter said, can I have that jug? It's absolutely amazing. Can I have it? And I said, well, yes, of course you can have it, but not just yet, not this visit, because my plan is to be painting roses in it. And so she didn't manage to take the jug, and no doubt I'll use it again. That's better light now, isn't it? It's in the shade. So this is oil on canvas board. And it's, of course, it's drying out. It takes quite a while for them to dry out. And I may well put this as a card on my Etsy shop for greetings cards. So look out for that. And then I was in full flow with painting, so I just did another little one. This is another style that I sometimes use, and I love the mystery of the painting, where it emerges, the item, the object emerges from the darkness. And this is a little geisha tea set that I have. It's just up there. You may have seen it in previous episodes in the background there. And I've taken the sugar pot and painted that yesterday. So this is just, again, it's oil on board, and this is just a very small, it's just 8 inches square, that one. Arts and crafts, hope you're inspired. I may well put this up as a card as well, and I will be putting these for sale. If you're interested, then do drop me an email and or a comment, and we can organise that if you wish. So having had a great time, we had a wonderful drive all the way across the board, not all the way, but part way across the borders to a little town called Moffat, and the countryside is just out of this world. It really is. I'm so glad I'm living back home in Scotland, I have to say. So there we are. Thank you so much for your comments. It's just lovely to feel part of a community, but it's even better to know that you are appreciating my efforts in the YouTube world. Thank you if you have been subscribing and liking, and look out for me on Instagram, fireside and fairytale. And here we are again. I can't guarantee that there will be an episode next week. It might be the one after. I'll keep stitching, and I hope you will too. But I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.